No.
Okay, great. I'm just going to try to catch it before it starts going. Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Krishna Priya. This is the Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It's Saturday, the 8th of July, 2023. And we have with us our very special, recurring now, regular monthly guest, Will Mitchell. Hi, Will. How are you doing?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It's my honor to be here.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, one moment. I lost my screen, my Zoom screen for some reason. There we are. So today we have you here, and you're going to be channeling who's coming through today?
Well, at first it's going to be Archangel Zadkiel.
Okay.
And then probably Saint Germain.
All right, perfect.
And we'll see if there's time for Merlin or any of the other beings who are in line.
Well, Merlin's also an aspect of Saint Germain too. They're the same being actually, but just different aspects. So hopefully you get that.
Thanks, Ryan. That's awesome. Okay, thank you. So in the room today, let's see who we have. We have Ryan, we have Will, we have Angie, and I lost my group. For some reason, my screen on Zoom is different today. Maybe they've updated it and it's changed for some reason. You can't see who's speaking. Oh, here we go. We have Angie, Will, Barbara, Julie, Lawa, Radha, Susan, Ryan, Wendy. Did I say Ryan? Myself? So, okay, Angie, do you have some announcements for us?
I do. We have our Hucolo Starseed Gathering scheduled. It's Thursday, August 8th through Monday, August 12th, 2024. Cost is $6.95 a person. We are going to have it at Ononda Park in Canandaigua, New York. Some of the itinerary is understanding your lineage outside of Earth, oneness activities, connecting with your Starseed family. There will be some channeled classes, sharing information, light code activations, nightly campfires, and so much more. If you are interested, please send an email to classes@hucolo.org, or if you just have questions as well, you can, again, classes@hucolo.org. I'll get any information out to you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's start with some blessings. We'll do Barbara. Will, are you going to interpret?
Yes.
Okay, so Barbara, Wendy, Suzanne. Okay, take it away, Barbara.
Anatahiata kosiato kishana kimata honati kiniato hoshaya kata manatiato kiahaya hoa nakamana kiaso shata hakata nakatiheti koto kanaka diata kodoko shiata. Namaste.
Your heart is more powerful than you know. You must believe in your heart. You must experience your heart. You must set your heart free. Your mind and your heart must unify these ideas of wisdom, these ideas of action. It is time. It is time for you to act with wisdom from your heart.
Uinya ira tu huru tu hira na ishigiri ma tu ira na ita kuru ira pa ira ta hai ita kuru ira ishiguru in am bitu di tu hira na tu ira ka ira pa ira tu ira blessings.
Things are changing all the time. You can make them change for the better, or you can make them change for the worse. It is your choice. Maybe step up. Maybe heal yourself, heal the planet, heal the collective. be one.
Tua sikaya tia hutua, he sea kahikoa, he tia ia tia koa. He sea ia kia hu tia ia tia yokotoa ita, he sea ia toia kia hi to hia. He sea tikoa, he sea kia tia hi tikoa, he sea uia ia sia, ki tia u, sikaya tia, hi kaya. I got that, that's Enoch coming through.
There's great power from up above. It is not the power that your mind and your ego know. It is the power of God working through you. Allow God to work with you. Allow God to work through you. The change that is needed in this time, in this crucial time, requires devotion to God.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. And so we'll allow you to just go ahead into trance and to begin whenever you're ready, Will. For everyone watching in YouTube, Angie's going to be watching the chat, so she'll be looking for your questions and requests.
Blessings, dear ones. I am Zadkiel. I'm here to talk to you today about the times ahead. It is your choice. The world needs you. Consciousness needs you. The planet needs you. There are many, many interesting stories and themes that are roaming around the planet at these times. It is up to you to choose what you resonate with, what you will listen to. These times are challenging for some and exciting for others. I encourage you to tap into the excitement aspect of it. Do you see these times ahead as more challenging? Do you see all these signs and omens as something to avoid? Or do you see them as something as positive? The choice is yours. When you focus your attention on the negative, it empowers the negative. When you focus attention on the powerful, on God, on love, on understanding, on peace, you enhance the power of that. You can bring forth the end. You can bring forth the ultimate bliss. It is your choice. The collective is acting together. Your vibration is adding to the collective. You can hear this as a warning, or you can hear this as a call to action through love. It is your choice. How you see it, how you act. How are you devoted to one another? How are you devoted to the planet? Are you doing so from the heart center? Are you doing so from the mind? Are you doing it for selfish reasons? Are you doing it for benevolent, all-serving reasons? I am of service. I am of service to God. I am of service to all of the angels. I am of service to humanity. And there are many other realms to which I am of service. Call on me and your angels, call on God to help out. If there's something you wish to create, call on God. Call on your angels, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Call on the purest form of light, of love, of compassion. You have it in you. God created you. God created you in God's image. You have all the powers, everything, if you allow it to come through. You can work miracles. It is time to find the love in your heart and let it loose. Let it roam free. Let it love freely. This love is beyond most humans' comprehension and understanding. Bring it forth. Don't try to understand it. Allow the compassion to run free. Allow the loving kindness to run free. Help where it's needed. Step up. Be the love you wish to see. If a change needs to happen, be it. Start it. Do not do it because I say so. Do it because your heart tells you to do so. When your heart is talking to you, don't second guess it. When love is coming forth, when you get filled with that loving compassion, just act. Don't hesitate. Maybe smile. Wave at somebody else. If they're having an angry day, smile at them, wave at them. Who knows how it will help? These times ahead can be challenging. This particular timeline can be challenging. You have the ability to bring it upon the course that you prefer. You can bring it upon the course that your heart prefers. You can bring it upon the course that your angels prefer. You can bring it along the course that God prefers. You can feed the fear or you can feed the love. It is your choice. You get to choose whether this timeline survives or thrives. Learn to focus your love. Learn to simply breathe and see that everyone's actions are okay. If someone's upset, if you add to it, it's not helpful. If you smile, sometimes it's easier just to smile, say, have a good day, and you walk off. Sometimes it's just a smile. Sometimes it's they need a hand up. Whatever it is, your angels are there for you. And there are many incarnated angels. There are several angels among us today. It is time to live the love that you are. The love. Some speak of the end of times. Some speak of the age of truth and the age of love. What do you believe? What are you working towards? I don't say these things to judge you. I am furthest from that judgment. I am furthest from that judgment. I stand with all the angels when called for. And in many timelines, I have and will again, lovingly, trying to convince everyone that there is love in that dark side. They were born of love no matter what they think their incarnation was or who created them. God created them. God created them of love. No matter what darkest being you have in front of you, send it love. That love, allowing God's love to come through, is all that is needed. That is it. There are many timelines in which this end of days was supposed to happen. But love won, and those timelines are thriving. This timeline, where you are, which direction will you choose? Sometimes it matters what you're thinking. Sometimes it matters what your heart is thinking. Which one are you going to listen to? Sometimes they are aligned, sometimes they are not. Are there any questions?
Let me just, well, I have a question. When you started talking about end times, they've been talking about end times since the beginning of time. And I just wonder,
Correct. Very correct.
if it's not just man's sort of one desire to go home, but two, this idea that, you know, it's the worst of times, it's the best of times, which is always true. Any time is it's, you know, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. They're always both true at any given time. And I'm just wondering, what is this sort of fascination with end times, considering things are cyclical? And if you truly look at the, you know, the universe, everything's a cycle. So we're either the beginning, middle, of end of anything. But I think doomsdayers are a lot more. I just think they've always been around, and I don't know that I really believe that it's the end times. I'm not trying to say it isn't, but I just don't necessarily believe that it is. It doesn't give me comfort to believe in end times. Let's say it like that.
That is the whole point of what I was speaking about. These ideas, that this end times of today in this timeline are thriving because one person had a vision and someone else wrote it down, and then someone else included it in a book. One person's vision. What visions do you have, is what I would say. Do you have visions of the end of times? Do you have visions of seals? And if somebody else tells you that it is the end of times, will you believe it? Or will you listen to your heart?
I'll listen to my heart. I don't necessarily believe it. No. I'm not rushing to the end of my life. I'm not rushing. I'm not trying to rush to the end. I'm trying to just truly get through every single day and be focused in my now moment. That's truly my goal. And my dog is agreeing with me. He's in his now moment, barking at the neighbor.
Excellent. Excellent. Is your dog saying hello, or is your dog saying stay away?
Probably a little bit of both.
Yes, yes, yes. So let's talk then about the violet flame. Many have been talking about the violet flame, and many have been using the violet flame. And this violet flame is yet one of the colors of the flames of God. transmutation, elevation. This violet flame can bring you wisdom. It can change many things in you. It does so because it comes from God. This ability to transmute changes things in front of you, changes things inside of you. Changes your perception, and at times it changes your physicality and the physicality around you. Bringing forth this violet flame is a natural process that you can do. You simply need to ask. You can choose any of the flames of God, any of the rays of God. They are all from God. They are all love, a different theme of love, a different flavor of love, if you might say. But it is still the same thing. They all bring wisdom and perception and change and healing. Whether it focuses more on one of those aspects or another, they all come from the same source. They are all powerful. Because according to God, there is no distinction between it and you. And you can choose. You can choose to use it to transform yourself, to transform your thoughts, to transform your life, to transform someone else. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Are there
Thank
any
you.
questions? Are there any questions about the violet flame?
Nothing in the YouTube.
No, not about the violet flame, but there is a question from Joan. Joan, go
ahead.
ahead and ask your question. Joan, are you there? Okay, I can ask the question for her. Actually, let's wait and see if she comes back. She might have stepped away for a second. Wendy has a question. Go ahead, Wendy.
Thank you. So when we were in Scotland and Ireland, we know that we were doing a lot of clearing and healing for souls in all the various locations that we were at. Can you tell us anything about the work that we were doing while we were there related to the souls?
Well, there are souls everywhere who are remaining. They're remaining around for whatever earthly attachments. They passed on from the human existence, but they did not understand that they passed on, or they chose to stay for whatever reason. When anyone helps souls transition, clearing the land from war, from famine, from loss, whatever it is, using whatever mechanisms that you're using, whether you're asking angels to come and do them, whatever, if you're using any of the divine energies to help return them home, reminding them that they are home, that they are the light, that they are loved no matter what. Some stick around because they are grief-ridden. They don't think they deserve to be in heaven. The love that you particularly shared, and that ferrying any lost souls back home is simply just the reminder that they are loved, that they are welcome, no matter what they did, that they can leave this burden behind them on this earth, because this is where it was created, and ferrying them home is a natural It's also a benevolent thing. So I might ask you, how did it feel after you did your clearings in the various places? How did the land feel? And how did you and your party feel afterwards?
We felt joyous the whole time. There were moments of silence and recognition, but other than that, definite joy and peace.
Excellent, excellent. How did the land feel? Did you pay attention to the land and the energy surrounding you besides?
Yes.
Because what I understood, it was inner joy.
Yes, much of what we were doing was focused primarily on the land, and I think the souls surrounding the area, especially like around, many of the castle sites that we visited. I think that there was a lot of focus on the Fae and the elemental realm and sending blessings while we were there.
How you feel when you do the work is the most important aspect. Check in with the land after you clear. Maybe more energy work needs to be done. Maybe the land feels good. Continue to do so until it feels good. If you're in this pure state of bliss, then it is both you and the land. If you feel better, doing any energy work will help you feel better. Doing God's work will help you feel love overjoyed is the easiest way to say it. Experiencing that is a blessing from God. Freeing the land, freeing the spirits who seemingly are trapped here, but they're not really trapped. They just needed that reminder of who they are, of where they belong, where is home for them, and that they are welcome and worthy. That is, if it's anything, that is my biggest message. That is God's biggest message, is that you are worthy. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of abundance. You are worthy of the magic that the universe has to provide. Whether you see it as magic, or whether you see it as love, whether you see it as flames of God or light of God, it does not matter. Know that you are worthy. And if you are not feeling worthy, ask your angels to come in and show you that you are worthy. It is that simple.
Thank you. Blessings.
Thank you. Okay, Joan, are you back? Joan? Okay, she seems to have fallen out. So we'll go to Kat and then we'll come back and I'll ask Joan's question. Go ahead, Kat.
Yeah. What does it mean to that I am created in the image of God? Or how do you say it?
I understood, and I think everyone else understood that. Is that your complete question?
Yeah. What does it mean? We are created in the image. The God imagine you, and what does it mean?
Well, at the highest level, you are simply an idea, yes, that you are just imagined. But this physicality is just imagined also. But to you, this physicality is real and your existence is real. And it is real. It is real. And you are created by God in God's image with all the powers that God has. But you chose this incarnation in this 3D earth plane where you chose to experience this duality, where you chose to experience the darkness and the light. And there is no judgment from God because you have these powers and you are choosing to experience the contrast. You can choose not to experience that.
Um, yeah, that's a good point. Not choosing to live, experience duality if you are discerning enough, if you have enough discerning so not to do that.
Yes, discernment, and being, listening to your heart. That will help you navigate this duality and maybe one day see it for what it is, that God created everything. God created everything in its own image. So all this contrast that you are seeing, God created it, not necessarily as contrast, but created it. You are choosing to see it as contrast.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and there's no judgment from God. I mean, whether you choose to see it this way or that way, you are helping all of creation.
Does God why does it need his images, and how does God help receive help from creating his images?
There are many answers to that. There are many answers to that. And
Well, just give me one or two.
yes. So this planet Earth was created for experience, both positive and negative experience. If you wanted to incarnate in a more negative experience, there are many realms of hell that you could have incarnated, and many of you have, and then decided you did not like it any longer, or you did not prefer it. And then you went back to heaven and chose to incarnate elsewhere. And on this earth plane, you have I don't know if I'm answering your question. Experience is the easiest way to say it. And when you first came to planet Earth in this physical form that you are in right now, you came in as a pure soul, and you came in wanting to experience certain things. You chose your parents, you chose your neighbors, and they all influenced who you became. Now, what is it that you wish to experience now? Do you wish to experience returning to God and unity and love? Or do you wish to experience life as you know it? Continue along the path, whichever path that you are going. So I'm asking.
You asking me that?
Yes, I would like to continue this conversation. This is an interesting conversation.
Well, I am God. So I think that answers you.
Well, yes. And I see that in you. But how are you bringing that ability outward
Um,
in your experience? And I ask
I'm
this
just
so that
um,
your wisdom can be shared with others.
okay. Um, well, I discovered, I don't know, maybe 2, 3 years ago that I am God. Um, and but that didn't mean I was healed, or I still had things to do, like healing, cleaning my energies, aligning my um, points of energy, my chakras, heal my physical body, um, be attentive with people around me, listening them what they're saying, being present, um, healing my body pains, taking care of my body, um, meditating as much as I needed, um, exploring my depth, observing myself, especially observing myself, just observing, not judging. Um, and yeah, interesting. Yeah, reimagining me. Um, yep, like God did.
I like that term, reimagining me.
Yeah, interesting.
Reimagining me is the first step, to heal oneself, to be more conscious, to work towards your conscious goals. All those things start with an imagination. What is possible is the first question. Can it be done? I hope it can be done. And then you will start to believe more. When things start to happen for you and synchronicities start to happen. A synchronicity is simply an occurrence that you created that you did not expect. That is it. You created it. And once you start to see that you created it, then you are starting to step into your power, into God's power.
Yeah, yeah, and discovering God's many potential power. Um, and also um, not wanting this power, just be that and be yourself, because first it's who you are, and then um, what you can do with who you are.
Yes, yes. And that was an interesting point that you brought up about not wanting the power. Want is right on the center of this duality. How are you
Yeah,
wanting it?
yeah,
Are you wanting it because your mind or your ego wants it? Is it a selfish thing? Or is it the way I understand it from you and inside your vibration is that by not wanting it, you're allowing your inner being to want it. You're allowing your God center to
yeah,
want it. And that part, that is the most powerful part of inspiration and desire. There's nothing wrong with wanting or preferring something. if you want it for powerful reasons or for attention reasons or for other things, this is part of the experience of duality.
Yeah,
If you want to experience this creative desire, this is what God is, this creative desire. It is the purest creative desire out there. And if you
yeah,
allow that to come through, then you are stepping into your God essence, your true divinity.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Any questions you have?
Why, yes. Why, yes. Because I would like to continue this conversation. It is an interesting conversation. And I'm sure that is sparking, I mean, I definitely see there are many who are agreeing with this and have enlightened their possibilities on what they wish to create because of this conversation. So I thank you very much for this conversation.
You're welcome.
How what are some of the techniques that are using for you to heal your body and your physical pain?
Well, I like to heal. My most powerful teacher was my body pains, and I had to meditate a lot, meditate and process in them, because meditation is like a portal. You enter the room of your surgery, and then in the room of the surgery, which is meditation, you process things. And because of the body pains, they were hardest to heal. I needed to meditate a lot on them and release them and see how they look, um, how uh, how I can let them go. Um, and because of that, it took a long time to sit in the meditation and meditation position, mentally. And after 14 years of maybe at least 3 hours a day, it just occurred to me that, well, I think I am God. And I realized I came to the self realization. I looked around, I watch how people are, how I am. Um, so I advanced in the realization of who I am as consciousness, not as love yet, but it's not a big difference, yet it is love and consciousness and self-awareness. So it was a long process of meditation, where I realized who I am. And I realized, okay, I think this is God. This is God-like. Um, I'm a God-like being. So it was a lot of, when you meditate every day and you sit there with your self, that the process of sitting with yourself and not giving into those fragments that uh, um, put you away from you, and also realizing everything that represents beliefs and let them go. So this process of sitting with yourself day by day it adds up into your consciousness, little bit by bit, day by day. And after a while, you just realize that you are God.
Yes, yes, yes. May I respond?
Yeah.
So I agree with you 100%. And it's very wise of you. And thank you for sharing your wisdom. This consciousness, this belief, this God self that is inside of you and every one of you. I do not want to discourage you. Continue what you are doing. It is such a beautiful thing. As you continue honoring your God self inside and allowing it to come forth, more and more will be revealed to you by your God self. Healing will be faster. Other powers, for lack of a better word, powers that are not known to humans or not fully understood by humans. They will come more prevalently. They will start to show themselves to you because this is the inherent nature of who you are, who you really are. And higher ideas beyond this 3D physicality will be available to you. This healing will come much faster. Pain sometimes is physical pains due to your physical body because you are injured, let's say. Excuse me, this channel needs. There is mental pain and there's emotional pain. By sitting in that state of meditation, you can discern between which state of pain it is. The imagined pain is the easiest one to get rid of. The emotional pain can be. I think it is the easier one to get rid of. But this physical pain, there is rehab, there is physical regimes to go through, there is surgeries, other types of things that your 3D realm has available to you to alleviate the pain. Sometimes it's diet, sometimes it is what you are putting in your body, sometimes it is the exercise, sometimes it needs to be corrected. It can be corrected through meditation, through prayer, but you also
Yes,
need
it
to
can.
allow it to happen.
Exactly. So because it's the heavier to heal, somehow it was my best teacher because I had to
Yes,
meditate a lot on it.
your best teacher will always come from within. Many
Yeah.
times humans need someone to tell them what a path is, what a path is on a better diet or more exercise, or how to achieve more peace of mind, how to be more focused. Many humans need that help. Don't judge yourself. God is not judging you. Your angels are not judging you. If this is what you need and you see this as a path forward for you, take it. Pray on it. Meditate on it. And if it still feels good, go ahead and do it. Then, once you're past it, it's like if you're in debt, set up a payment plan, make a plan, and move forward. Don't spend any more energy on it because it's taken care of. And then you can focus on being in your joy, being in your bliss, being in your peace, being in your happiness, and creating that. And then sharing the love that comes forth from that. These are all great ideas for the humans. This is why you came here, is to explore all these things.
Or be in your being.
Yes, because the more that you are in your being, you are in your divinity, and that divinity is convincing you, you are reprogramming your belief system to be more divine, to not only to be more divine, to think more divine, to speak more divine, and to act more divine. The chakras are all ideas, and how to get past if you're thinking about the blockages, excellent. When it comes up, pray on it, meditate on it, go see a practitioner, ask your angels to help with it. Those ideas of healing will bring you back into alignment, and the thoughts of love or being more compassionate, they start with not being judgmental. And even if somebody is being a jerk, let's say, you don't have to see it as them being a jerk. You can see it as they're upset about something. And then you're seeing it through compassion. And then you can not judge them, because when you judge them, it imprints on you. It hurts you. And if you forgive, forgiveness is just seeing that it wasn't a problem to begin with. That's all it is. And that it lightens your load, and very probably it lightens the load of somebody else. By you not judging, that's...
Well, I think it's also something more about, there's something above judging, because when I had this personal awakening, I started to not to judge people, but I started to see everything around me as an expression of God, as an impulse of God. I started to see what is animating people, what is what is inside of a bird, her heart, her consciousness, her dot of life. I started to see that in plants, in animals,
and did that make you more free, more joyous, more at peace?
Exactly. Yeah, and this brings me more happiness. Yeah, exactly. More oneness.
Excellent. So let me say this. For those who are feeling overwhelmed out there, if your divinity, if your angels, if God wanted you back in heaven, you would already be there. You can go lie down on your bed and say, I'm ready, and wait 10 minutes, wait 5 minutes, wait 1 minute. If you're not in heaven, if you're back on your bed, you were not ready. Whatever this contrast is, your divinity, your angels are trying to tell you that you can see it differently, you can create it differently, you can overcome it, for lack of a better term. Overcome it. The lie down test and say, take me home, is one of the easiest ways for you to know that it's not your time to go. So then ask your angels to show you the love right then and there. I'm still here. Excellent. I don't need to go. Excellent. Where's the love? Am I being supported? Can I feel the love right now? Can I allow myself to feel the love right now? And maybe that will give you encouragement to get out of bed and say, now what can I do? How can I move forward? How can I create? What can I do to continue this feeling that I have? It's not that you need to save the world. How can you make your life better from that moment? Which is the same thing as the consciousness of Cat finding his own divinity. It's the same thing. One, by judging that one is different from the other, makes it harder for those who are suffering, feeling overwhelmed. But by breathing, one can maybe see that they're surrounded by their angels, by asking them to show themselves and show a love, any spark of light or love, compassion, whatever it is that you need. This ability to focus and focus on the positive is your greatest trait, because that tells the universe what you wish to bring to you, what you wish to experience. And you can experience the divinity in others if that's what you choose to do. But you can experience the safety, the emotional balance, the inspiration, or the letting go of your pains, whatever they are. You can experience that. And if you need help, reach out. Find anyone that can help.
Okay, thank you so much for that beautiful discussion. She's still not back, so I'm going to ask the question from Joan, but she said her internet's going in and out. So she's not here to respond, but she says, what is balanced? How do you balance the negative and positive? Does this mean be a good person at the same time being bad? Can you expand or enlighten me? Thank you.
Excellent. First, thank you, Kat, for that wonderful conversation. I much appreciate the conversation. So balance, this balance of light and dark, good and evil, as the human experiences it. You are divine. Let's start with that. And you are created, whether you see it or not. You are created according to your vibration, and you are creating. Your conscious mind has something to do with it, but your heart has more to do with it. But by you focusing your conscious mind and aligning with what your inner being is doing, if you just stop for a moment and just breathe and just focus on the breath, then you're not worried about balance. You're not worried about light or dark. You're not experiencing either. That is balance. The judgment that I spoke of earlier is this need to choose good over evil, to choose light over dark. This judgment comes from the mind, comes from the ego, which is a part of what you chose to experience. This ego drives the humans to choose to survive. Almost an innate essence to want to survive. That is your most basic element. That is a part of your animal brain. It is a part of your root chakra. And this ego that you have believes that this life is the only life, and this experience, that once it's done, it's done. And so it wants to fight to survive. If you let go of that fear and know that you exist and that God loves you and that your angels love you, and you can let go of this idea of death or this idea of needing to survive. Again, go back to the bed test. Go lie down on your bed. If it's your time, you'll go. If you and your divinity really want to exit this physicality, there's no need to take pills. There's no need to do anything. Lie down and say you intend to go. If you don't, guess what? Your heart didn't want to go. Listen to your heart. Now, this balance, you are also built with discernment. And this discernment is different than judgment, because judgment comes from the ego. The judgment comes from right versus wrong. Judgment comes from your belief systems. Discernment comes from your preferences. Discernment can come from a bit of judgment, but discernment more comes from your inner being. What you have experienced, where are you feeling the need? Either the need to experience, or this need for joy, or this need for soothing, or this need for healing. Sometimes it comes forth in a need. And when that need for healing, or healing any aspect of us, healing is merely coming back into alignment by meditating. Your cells of your human body are built for stasis. They're built to achieve this balance without doing anything. It is part of the human design that this stress, this experience, causes our cells to do other things, to not be in balance, to not be in harmony. And so by not being in harmony, it causes physical pain, it causes emotional pain, because then you're judging that you should be in better health. And then it causes mental pain, mental anguish, because you're focused on other things. That is one of the tools of meditation. That is one of the tools of prayer. Prayer and meditation, or making it even simpler, mindfulness. Just walking in wonder is enough. Walking and breathing in wonder. Can you find plants, flowers, butterflies, whatever it is that brings out your joy? That is your truest nature. This ability to be balanced. Thinking of having to choose the light or love. Well, let's not choose love. The human idea of light versus dark, or good versus evil, or right versus wrong, they all stem from judgment, and neither are balance. Neither are balance. How can one choose more balance? Balance is what brings out your joy. Balance is what brings out your peace. Balance is what brings out your calmness. Balance is what brings out your not the need to respond to everything or anything, that you choose to respond, not because they said this and I need to correct them, or I need to refute them, or I need, because it made me emotionally disturbed, so I need to respond to it. All of those are not balance. Can we choose joy in the human experience? Can we choose not responding? Those are all ideas that you can choose to explore. If you're doing what brings out your joy, you are following the path of your inner being. You are following the path of the divinity that is inside of you. Whether it's whether you feel it or not. I mean, if you just feel like I'm doing it because it makes me feel better, excellent, excellent. Later on, when you become more conscious, you can then think about things like, am I doing it to self-soothe, or am I doing it because this is the joy of my inner being? And then one can choose. I'm not going to self-soothe that way anymore because that comes with a bad feeling later or anything else. If it does come with a bad feeling later, your divinity inside is trying to tell you that there's a better way to deal with it. And you can choose mindfulness, you can choose focus, you can choose sending energy, you can choose the violet flame, sending it. You can ask your angels to help with that. When you learn to soothe from your mind and your heart, that is way more powerful than you soothing by activity, recreational drugs, whatever it is that is you're choosing to bring out your joy. It's good that you're bringing out your joy, but are you creating an external dependency where the divinity is inside? Can you allow that divinity to come out without any external prodding? How's that?
Very good. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to go to the YouTube chat just because we have a couple questions from there, and then we'll come back to Susan.
Excellent, excellent.
Hammy says, please talk about two ideas. First is the energy from the sun in space, and second is our thoughts and belief. And I guess how do those two things affect the other two things? So the sun in space affecting our thoughts and beliefs.
So let's start with the sun in space. And the sun and space are a part of the physicality that you chose to incarnate in. So they give you physical benefits, but they also contain vibration, both physical vibration and spiritual vibration. Everything is spiritual and has a spiritual nature to it. Everything is divinity. Whether, I wanted to say the humans, but this is a part of many, many, many of the realms. Whether they choose to see it as divinity, rearrangeable, whether there are limitations to the physicality aspects of it. But these limitations, there is so much that humans and the scientists on planet Earth do not understand about light and space. There's so much they do not understand that over time, that they will understand more and more. But this light works with your body. This space that is out there works with your body and works with your mind. And you being able to utilize it simply by letting it, sit with it, slow down, walk in the sunlight, sit in the sunlight. If it's really hot for you, maybe sit in the shade and know that that light is coming to you, and that light has a spiritual aspect to it that nourishes your divinity inside, nourishes all of the cells, reminding it that it is divine and that it is a part of it. And so it will find stasis, harmony, balance faster. Now then, this idea with the mind, can you please read the second part of that question again so I thoroughly understand?
Sure. She says, okay, please let me, oh, I lost her. Please, she said, please talk about two ideas. First, energies in the sun and space. And second is our thoughts and beliefs.
Yes, 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 yes. God is your truest nature, and it is your greatest power. Beliefs, belief systems, let's say belief systems. You have been reinforcing your belief systems since you incarnated in the womb. You came in as a pure light, understanding the pure light, understanding the realm where you are incarnating. And the belief systems that you created every single one of your beliefs, whether they were from an external source or from an internal source. Very probably the human experience is all about listening to others, listening to teachers, listening to friends, listening to coworkers, listening to family. It starts out early on by listening to parents. You listen to both their vibration, the love that they shared, or the lack of love. What your mother consumed influenced your physical makeup. What your father consumed influenced your physical makeup. But there was, in this idea of time, the nurturing from the mother is more important. It is more long lasting. This is the first external influence besides the love from your mother and the love from your father. And if you chose one of the difficult incarnations where neither could send the love that you needed, let me remind you that you are divine and that you chose this experience. You chose this. You chose it to overcome it. You chose it because the love that's inside of you, or the love that you experienced from adoptive parents or foster parents or whatever, or maybe even later on in life, you chose this experience. And I honor you for choosing that experience because it is not one that the mainstream chooses. But this belief system, you have built it over time, over this idea of time, and you can release any of those belief systems or beliefs that no longer serve. You can attempt to with your conscious mind. I don't think it's going to go so well. You can try to reprogram yourself. And many people write lists. They write lists of the beliefs that they wish to adopt. And that is a good idea. And some people create pictures or drawings of beliefs they want to adopt. The more you create, or the more that you adopt these belief systems, the more attention you give to an idea, the more it gets adopted into your belief system, because you're giving it energy. That is a part of the divinity, that who you are, and that is one of your powers. Now, you can believe that this works. I urge you to try it. Write yourself affirmations if that's what you need. Write yourself the affirmations on healing the physical body if that's what you need. Write yourself affirmations as to, I'm going out into the world and I'm going to create this. Write yourself those affirmations, because over time, since you're giving it energy, it will be built into your belief system. Your belief system is the most powerful thing besides the thought, because your thoughts, giving your energy to the thoughts, giving your focus giving your awareness to certain thoughts empower them. Every thought, it empowers them. And then you reinforce them as a part of your mind because you are consistent, you are dedicated, you are devoted. I like the word devoted because devotion comes from the heart. And I am devoted to God. I am devoted to the angels. I am devoted to humanity. If I can help in any way, you can use the violet flame as well to reprogram your belief systems. If you use the violet flame every day, that is a form of prayer, it is a form of meditation. And although you're asking me, you're asking God. You're asking your inner being to connect with the divinity that is outside of you, to bring it back into you, to reprogram your belief systems to that which is more aligned with the divinity of who you are. I would just be repeating myself.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to just read one more question from there and then I'm going to go to Susan and then we'll come back to the YouTube chat. Go ahead, Susan.
Hello. So my
Greetings.
first question has to do with so we went to Ireland and Scotland in June, and for about, I'd say 3 months prior to our trip, I know Wendy and I and others in our channeling group, even like Radha, who didn't go on our trip, we were all experiencing like lower back pain, hip pain, radiating kind of down from our back. And I know we have like front and back aspects to our chakras. And I've heard that the back aspect of our chakras has to do with like our past or our ancestral lineage or our collective history of humanity, that sort of thing. So I'm just wondering, it seems those symptoms seem to be gone now, or seem to be less, like occasionally maybe once a week they'll pop up, but then by the next day they'll be gone. And so I'm just wondering if leading up to our trip, if we were just doing a lot of ancestral clearing or transmutation or things like that, or even on our trip, it seemed like it started to lessen. So I'm just wondering if you could speak to anything around that, as far as experiencing physical symptoms more like in the back part of our chakras, or what we might have been experiencing related to maybe releasing or transmutation on our before and on our trip.
Excellent question. Excellent question. And I can answer that 2 ways. So the first way I can answer it is as a human sees it. And many times this physical pain comes from body position, comes from a chair that you're sitting in. It comes from lack of movement, especially in the lower back, if we're just dealing with the physicality. Now, as a spiritual being and doing energy work, yes, there are fronts and backs and tops and bottoms to chakras and the flow of energy around them. And the spine itself is your central channel for the nervous system, not necessarily the central channel, the Sushumna, for the spiritual chakra energy and the flow of the life force energy that is inherent in the human being. So here's the other thing, is that you created this physical pain yourself. Okay? No one else created it but you. And if all of you created it and you were all experiencing it, you all created it maybe on the same thing. I can guarantee you, you all created it along the same theme because you were having your shared experience. You were so connected and so focused on what you were going to do. There was clearing, and this pain that you created was the way that you can all communicate to each other that you're having a common experience. And this was the tool that you used to reinforce in you and in your belief system. See, this is the important part, is it reinforced your beliefs. It reinforced what you were going to do, and you were all experiencing the pain. And since you came up with the idea that you were releasing ancestral issues, it exactly was that, because you were telling yourself, this is why I'm creating this pain, and you all created it together, and you all have a common lineage, and you all have a common lineage over there where you wish to go clear it. And not only were you clearing it for many, many others, you were clearing it along your own ancestral lines. You were offering up forgiveness to your ancestral lines, to all of your grandmothers and all of your grandfathers, and everyone who did anything wrong to them and anything wrong that they did. You were releasing that, which is why you no longer feel the pain. And that is the part of the agreement that you made with your other people in your group. And that was how you knew that you were successful in what you did, because you released this pain. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, definitely.
And you can create this reinforcement a different way. You don't have to choose physical pain. But if you wish to, because it seemed to really work for you.
Yeah, I mean, in the instances since I've gotten back, which has been less, yeah, I send love to it and intend on releasing it, or go outside and ground barefoot or something like that to connect to nature. And I do a lot of computer work, so I am sitting a lot. So I think it's kind of my indication I need to get out in nature more and move during the day and not be sitting so much. So I can relate to that for sure. So my second question is, we had some unique experiences on our trip as well, where so Joan and I were roommates, and she woke up in the middle of the night when we were in Dublin, Ireland, and saw 4 leprechauns up on a shelf. There's a shelving unit in the left corner of our room, visible from our beds. And so she woke up and saw these 4 leprechauns sitting on the top of the shelving unit, and sat and watched them for a while, and kind of saw more of, I think, their shadow forms moving and things like that. And but could see the outlines of them in the dark. And I'm just wondering what their purpose there was. That it seemed like they were watching us sleep. And if there was any other reason, or if they had been kind of with us on the whole trip, and she just had the opportunity to see them.
Well, I wish that she were asking the question.
Yeah, and unfortunately she's having internet issues right now.
Excellent, excellent, right.
Yeah.
So they appear at your behest, at your asking them to. And they show up in whatever form that you are ready to see, is the easiest way to say it. How did she feel when she saw them is the more important. And since she saw them in the shadow realm, let's try not to judge it. So if
No,
she felt excited.
She felt excited, but she kind of just laid still and watched them, because she wanted to see them as long as possible before they disappeared, so to speak.
Yes, yes. So there was fear there that she might scare them away also.
Yes, perhaps, maybe.
Okay. Well, fear is a part of the human condition. Knowing that you're sending out love and support and peace might allow them to show themselves more fully and stay around longer. Holding the vibration of fear, that will keep anyone at bay. When you see somebody as fearful, do you want to approach them?
No, not usually. But I
No.
would suspect she has such a loving heart that she was probably holding love for them and wanting to hold that connection. Yeah, I don't know if it was fear so much as she wanted to extend the experience. And she usually extends her love very readily.
And again, I'm not trying to talk from a space of judgment or good versus evil. It is what is for all the humans and starseeds and angels. What is it that you are experiencing then? What is the vibration you're holding then? What are you sending out then? That's the most important. And the easiest trick, if you notice that you're sending out a vibration that's not respectful, not loving, not joyous, it's simply a reminder that I can choose something else right now. Can I find gratitude? Can I say thank you to the leprechauns for showing up? That is a reset on your alignment to your divinity and their divinity. And when they show up, they're showing up for a reason. Finding the gratitude, finding the joy, finding the excitement, finding the love, and then letting that and any other vibration that comes in. If you're holding all those other vibrations, it doesn't matter about the other ones. They won't have any influence. So continue that joyous excitement.
Yeah, I've channeled the leprechaun since then, since we've been back and just in our channeling practice. So that, yeah, I hope to continue our connection with them and definitely in a loving way. So thank you for that answer. And now let's the next person ask their question.
Thank you so much.
Much love.
Oh. I'm trying to unmute. Okay, Radha has a question. Go ahead, Radha.
Greetings.
Greetings, blessings.
Blessings. So I have a question regarding timelines. Could you give us a quick overview of how timelines work and if other beings can change your timeline?
Again, I have two answers to that. If you believe others can change the timelines, then they can. I'll answer it as the human sees it. Humans tend to see it, and anyone who's incarnated in this 3D reality will tend to see time as a continuous flow that they have no influence over. Your thoughts are creating or influencing or extending the timeline. The collective consciousness is the influence on the timeline. By you tapping into the best way to create, or the way to create as you really prefer, is to tap into any one of the alignments of love, whether it's gratitude or peace, satisfaction, happiness, love, respect, that any of them. There's really no work that you need to do on any timeline. If you can be at peace as to where the timeline is going and whoever is doing any influence on it, that is your biggest assist to the timeline. So now let me answer it as the divine being that you are. You have more influence and power over the timeline that you're on that you can perceive. As a matter of fact, you have infinite power and control over the timeline that you are experiencing. Sit with that for a moment. Your thoughts are creating your timeline. Your vibration of your heart, of your being, is creating your timeline. This idea of time, one last thing here, this idea of time and timelines is only here because you do not truly believe that you are divine. Meaning that you do not fully live that everything is now, that everything is here, and that you believe that there's this past and future. And because of that, you are creating the timelines, and you are creating the perception of time, and you are creating it as you believe you prefer. You can choose differently. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. I was specifically asking this question because I was given the message that I was put on a timeline where they thought I would be happier. So I received that message, and so I was surprised to hear that, you know, elements outside of me can put me on a different timeline. So what you're saying is that's not correct?
Well, it is a perception of yours that those outside forces are outside of you. In one sense of it is that you asked to be put on the timeline, you asked to be more joyous. Okay? And your angels, your time lords, all these others ideas of that you think is not you, then led you to, hey, here's a timeline that you prefer. You made the jump on your own. They did not place you there. They led you there. They said you would be more happier with these thoughts, because thoughts create timelines. Okay? They gave you a stream of thought that would be more joyous to you. And most humans see that as a timeline. Okay? And that now will create along those thoughts, along that timeline. And it's also your angels, your guides, your time lords are encouraging you to be happier, to be more joyous, to find things. So I encourage you now on this new timeline, find all the joys, find them, find more and more and more, and document them, write them down, whatever it is, reinforce that you are finding these joys, and then it is so, because the universe is responding to you, your consistent thoughts, and then you will be more joyous. Do you understand? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you for explaining that. Blessings.
Blessings.
All right, so we are almost at the very end of the webinar.
Yes, I have noticed.
Yes, it went very quickly. So I just want to ask one of the questions from the chat that we can ask, that maybe you can ask or answer.
Please.
Paul Sweeney, and he's talking about DNA infusion upgrades, and he says he wants to know he wants to know the biology of what DNA upgrade means. Is it generic or non-genetic? Oh, excuse me. Is it genetic or non-genetic DNA? Is it present unactivated DNA on an existing chromosome? And what will the DNA do? Simple question.
Yes, 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 yes. You will probably get more satisfactory answers from another being. But I can tell you my perspective on it. You are recreating. You came here with an imprint, yes. You were seeded in your understanding of the human being. You were seeded with chromosomes from your mother and your father. And that makes up your DNA. And maybe you have the belief system that they will never change. Your DNA is being unzipped and rezipped over and over and over and over again, billions of times a second, all over your body, in all of your cells. Your cells are going through what your scientists call mitosis all the time. And every cell division they claim is the same, that they are duplicating, because they unzip it and then they attract the elements that completes the other half. And then that makes the new cell. Yes. And yes, there is dormant DNA that one activates, but these infusions from the aliens, both above your planet and on your world, and the ones that are in other realms that aren't in your physical solar system, they are offering these infusions. One must start with an infusion, which is at the highest form, it's just simply an idea, but it comes with the elements to build your DNA differently. You, your inner being, your conscious mind, your belief systems allow this or don't allow this. You are recreating your DNA billions of times a second. And just like the collective consciousness that is on planet Earth, the cells agree as to what they're going to create based on your vibration and your belief systems. So you have many strands of DNA that are being activated and deactivated because you simply don't believe it, or you do believe it. And these infusions are there first so that the physical elements, because that is part of your belief system, that these physical elements must be present first so that I can rebuild my DNA or activate. Because yes, it does matter in the human genome. It does matter which elements are next to which elements as to whether something's going to be activated or not. And how many other strands of DNA that are around that are in close proximity that are affecting. Each of them has their own energy field. Each of them in combination collaborate into their own energy field. Now, these activations, once these physical elements are in place in the DNA, these activations are energetic. They are spiritual and energetic. They are of a certain vibration that cause those combination of elements in the DNA chain to vibrate differently is the easiest way to explain it. And that programming happens. And then more and more and more of your cells are building things this way. And then when that mitosis happens, that the cells split and get zippered back together again, they do so more in, just like on Earth, more as the collective consciousness of who you are does. And then those powers of the lyrans, the arcturians, the insectoids, the avians, the dragons, all of them are then activated based on one, what you want, one, what you allow, and all according to your vibration, not necessarily the conscious thought. You can align your conscious thought with your vibration. And then these DNA upgrades happen. Was that too technical? Did you understand?
Yes, yes, very much. Thank you. We are at the end. It has gone, the time, so very quickly. Would you, because we are out of time, leave us with a beautiful message, blessing, and we will see you, see Will and maybe you in another month. But thank you so very much for sharing your wisdom, your love, your light, and your incredible answers with us today.
I would be honored to leave you with a blessing. Feel the love of God. Feel the love of your angels. Feel the love of one another. It is there. It is never apart from you. When you need the love, ask it to show, and it will be there. You are never alone. You are always blessed. Feel the love of God. Feel the support of God. Feel your light shining. Feel yourself radiated. Feel love radiating from all of who you are. Blessings, dear ones.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And so much love to you. And if you can bring Will back, that would be fantastic. And again, thank you for being here with us today. Welcome.
Hey.
Once again, we ran out of time.
How was it?
Fantastic.
I felt good.
Yeah. Well, you looked good. You sounded good. So it was good. It's getting more humid. My hair is getting frizzier as we're sitting here. And by the time, the nature of my hair and humidity, but feels good. So thank you for being here. And also too, because Angie had to go, do you want to give a little announcement about the retreat? Can you do that?
Off the top of my head, after just coming back, let me see if I can do this.
Yeah, I just know that for everyone who wants information, send a email to classes@hucolo.org and Angie will answer your questions. I know that we do have a payment plan for this year, and because it is in 2024, and it's in August, and that's what I know.
Yes, you are invited. You are welcome. You are encouraged to come August 8th through August 12th, 2024. That's next summer, to Ononda Park on Canandaigua Lake. We have cabins, whether you want to share the big cabin. There are several rooms up there. You can get your own cabin, okay, at your own expense. And you are so welcome to come. It will be a very unique experience. A Starseed gathering, $695 per person. And again, email Angie at classes@hucolo.org. And they're not sharing everything that's going to happen with me, nor Jim, nor Angie. I mean, we know it's going to be an epic event. And the best sales pitch ever was when Wendy was channeling last and Katie showed up, and then they just were talking. So many things happen that are unplanned at even a workshop. but this is going to be a retreat, more relaxed, less teaching, more being. There's so many things. Just imagine all the people that
Just
you're
an
gonna
amazing
get to
chance
meet.
everyone, right? All these people that we've been in Zoom together, in Google Hangouts together for years and years. It's a chance
Yes.
to really meet face to face, give each other a hug, and that itself is worth the trip. So
Oh, it's more than worth the trip because we can't plan all the magical things that happened at any of the workshops nor retreats. They're all, especially at the retreats, they're just so spontaneous as to who's going to go and do something and create something. And then you have so many choices of what's going to happen. And even if you've been talking with people for years online, meeting them and being in their energy, it has blown me away and changed me forever. Whether, yes,
oh, I don't know. Okay. No, it was just a
I thought I heard somebody say mom.
probably outside at the pool. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So you are welcome. And I guarantee you will find it enriching and enlightening and expansive.
Perfect. Well, that's all you can hope for. So. All right. So we will see you, maybe we'll see you in the coming weeks in the other webinars, but we will definitely see you 1 month from now.
Yes, yes, yes.
And after that, we will, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I look forward to seeing you as soon as you come back.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you to everyone in the room. Thank you to everyone in YouTube. Next week, Jim will be back. Have a fantastic week. Stay safe, stay happy, stay lovely, and please